Yaktash family. Selma and John have 2 young sons, Nesim and Zeki. A happy family of 4, nobody could have ever expected what would happen to them. In December of 2017, their oldest son, Nesim, was diagnosed with leukemia.
It all started about 2 weeks in December, November. Nesim, our older son, was getting sick often, and croup, which both are prominent in getting, was going through the house. First, it was Zeki, our younger son, had croup for a day or 2. And it's something we're used to, so normally we go to the doctors, they provide a treatment through steroids, and it gets better. After 2 weeks, it kept happening, and one day was a Tuesday, I was at work, and Nesim's school called and said again he had a deep cough. So when we went to the doctors, they checked his lungs, they checked his ears, and he noticed something, and he wanted us to kind of get it checked further. He requested we go to the hospital that night to do blood work.
I was essentially going to the doctors and getting a shot and like blood work, and then I was kind of sick. He said go home and we will check on your blood work, and then when he called us and we had to go back to the doctors, and then this is where the bad things happened.
So we did the blood work, we came home. We ordered pizza. I remember it like it was yesterday. We're right about to eat pizza, and the phone call that we had kind of changed our lives.
They asked us to go to the emergency room quickly, and our pediatrician was going to actually meet us there. They bring us into a room quickly, and they're doing more tests. They took more blood, and it's kind of hard to explain to a 6-year-old what is actually going on. We don't even know what's going on, but for him it's totally a different point of view, and he's also very scared at this point. So once we get into the room, they do more tests, and then here comes a hemoglobin doctor. She asks us a bunch of questions like, does he have bruises and bloody gums and all these other side effects? And honestly, he didn't have any of those besides the bloody nose, but it was winter, so it wasn't as concerning. She asked us to step aside and to go into a private little room. We go into a room, and the minute I get in, she tells me that your son has leukemia. And from there on, I shut down, and it was the scariest moment of my life.
This news was devastating to John and Selma. It's every parent's worst nightmare to hear their child has cancer, and for them, it was now a reality.
That night, they admitted him. We called our friends and family and sisters in our support system to come down and meet us at the hospital. And honestly, no one knew. I had no idea. I had fear of losing my oldest son. You know, Nesim's really close to me. He's like my best friend. So there were so many thoughts going through my mind, and we didn't know what to expect. They were throwing words at us like neutropenic and white blood red cells, you know, hemoglobin. It just new terminology that was going to be our new norm. Because of Zeki, his younger brother, having croup and getting his older brother sick over and over again in a 2-week span, us, for some reason, normally we wouldn't have, because we know what it is, it's croup. We just kind of give him the medicine. But for some reason, we took him to the hospital that night, and because of his younger brother, it kind of saved his older brother's life. The next day, we get the results of the bone marrow biopsy and what kind of leukemia Nesim has. And that's the first relief, if you want to call it relief, that we receive. It's the curable kind, the doctor states, and honestly, when our pediatrician mentioned to us what Nesim has, he's like, it's the cold of cancers. Now, I didn't understand that at first. Now, 2.5 years later, it makes sense because of the fact that we were blessed, you know, based on the version he has, his bone marrow biopsy. We asked the doctor, and the doctor said the bone marrow biopsy came back smooth. It honestly, her words, quoting the doctor, it came out like butter, meaning that the marrow, the leukemia cells in his bone marrow didn't multiply. He had it, however, it wasn't compacted, it wasn't tight. So it was easy as pulling, you know, taking a knife to a melted butter and just taking the top off, just smooth. So that was our first exciting news.
It was really hard and frustrating because I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything. All I have to do is sit on the bed.
I felt like I was in a different dimension and not knowing what to do, what to expect, didn't know what to even think at the time. And I also have another child who's like almost 3, and you know, as a mom or even as a parent, you know it's so hard to treat both kids, and you didn't know how to be a mom to both of my kids at the same time. That was definitely a challenge, but I do have to say we are blessed to have a great support system that was there for us and helped us out with both kids, and you know, stood by us every day at the hospital, and we are beyond grateful for that part.
We were able to focus on our son's well-being rather than worrying about our younger son or work. We have a great support system. But again, going back to taking a village, my father stepped up and stayed with Nesim where he had to stay in the hospital one night. Our sister-in-laws helped with picking up the kids from school because my wife and I are still working during this time.
We're both full-time parents.
Full-time parents, working parents, with great family members stepping up, and even the hospital, the Boryup Center. There's so many outlets where not everyone might be blessed at us. Nesim had a 2.5-year, no hiccup, no trouble treatment. Maybe once in the 2.5 years he had the flu, and that's really unheard of. However, you take every day as it comes.
You really have to stay positive. You really got to look at the outcome. You can have meltdowns, you can cry and have a moment, but you know what? After that moment, you got to get up and you got to go. We want to be able to share this experience with whoever is going through with something, and know that you are not alone. You can always reach out to whoever or any kind of information, and just know that you guys will be okay. And again, just take it day by day and just try to stay positive as much as you can, even though it is not an easy journey, but you will get through it.
Positive thoughts, positive vibes. In the beginning, I kind of started the mentality of, every day is a battle, right? There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days that you go through. There's going to be days it's 3 o'clock in the morning and your child is vomiting and in pain and crying because his bones hurt because of steroids. Then there's days you almost forget he has cancer. He's running around in the field, playing in the pool. The more positive you are in being there for your child, the more the stress is off your child fighting this battle, right? And I think honestly that helped Nesim. I honestly think that he was a champ. He beat it, he took it head on. But there's always someone else going through a harder time than you. And the best way of looking at it is, this is the deck that you've been given. You should take it day by day. And as long as you stay positive, and even if you need help, like I said, every hospital and oncology team has a life coach or a team, Make-A-Wish, or maybe your child's a sports fan, there's free Giants tickets, or there's always help. Your main focus, as ours was, is to how are we going to help our child survive and beat leukemia.
Now, nearly 3 years after his diagnosis, Nesim is officially cancer-free. With his particular type of leukemia, there is a 97% chance he will be cancer-free for the rest of his life. This means he can go back to being a regular kid who loves football, hockey, and hanging out with his friends. But none of their lives will ever be the same. Now they know how truly precious life is, and not to take it for granted. Because you never really know what can happen tomorrow. So savor every moment, and live your life with no hesitation.
Hi guys, today is a big day for us. Today is the day of Nesim's last treatment. We are beyond excited, beyond grateful. We want to thank everyone that was there for us. Thank you, God, for giving us this opportunity to see him, beat this thing and be strong, and it's just an amazing feeling. And I really hope that whoever's going through this, that know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Beautifully said. June 8th, 2020 is a day that's going to be right up there with the birthdays and the holidays, where we won't forget this day, because today's the last day he has chemo.
So we are going to have a drive-by since it is quarantine COVID time. We are going to have the fire department, the police department, everyone's gonna come and drive by, and then hopefully the fire department has an old truck that he'll be able to ring his bell.
To signify end of season.
Rough run going, right? You got a lot going on. But you know, something you taught us all a good lesson, how to never give up. You got a lot of courage. You faced a lot of tough times, right? But we're real proud of you. And as the sheriff, I want to give you a certificate. I'm joined by all these people here. And we all love you. The community loves you. The community's here for you. And you're going to do just fine. Okay? So let's give a round of applause to the right here, this is Bootin' USA. The little brother can have this. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
During this time, and I hope no one ever goes through this, but we want to say thank you so much, because without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to get through this. We love you all, and we're always there for you guys too. Please, we love you all. Thank you. Joanna, how are you?